You're welcome to Johnson Praise TV once again. My name is Johnson Praise, and I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate you for your support. You guys have been doing your best by sharing my videos, liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. The purpose or the objective for releasing this video is to guide you as you prepare for your exams. I'm releasing these videos to help you actually plan well so you can know the trend and how you can answer certain questions. So far I'll be able to release videos on summary a video too on synthesis essay, and yesterday too I released another video on referencing. So at this moment, I would like to also tackle the last aspect, which is what errors. Okay, it is very important. You are going to your exams. They are going to in your exams. They are going to give you four sessions, which is going to be centered on that is synthesis essay, summary. The summary is likely that you'll be given a composite summary. With that one, I'll release my last video on that. So after this one, probably by tomorrow, that video will be ready. So I release that video, a video on composite essay. So as a composite summary, so you know how to handle a composite summary anytime we are giving such summaries. Okay, but the objective for this video is to guide you through main campus, the recent exams that they did. Okay, so I have their questions. That is question that they have different badges. So I have a question for main campus, second badge, and then the third badge. So both questions are here. So we'll go through the questions and see how best we can handle these questions. And once again, I want to ask you or plead with you, if you haven't liked or subscribed to my YouTube channel, can kindly do that, and God will bless you. So that is all about this course. So we are coming to delve more into UGRC 210 exams, that is the errors, and how you can handle certain questions. You see that the error contains the errors. It is 10 questions for 10 marks, and you can't afford to miss these marks. Okay, synthesis essay alone carries 50% of the exact marks. So if you manage to even do errors, and then the synthesis essay, and you are not even able to even do the summary, okay, at the end of the day, even getting 40 from the synthesis essay, adding 10 marks is not 50. If you add your I scores to it, you are good to go. So, and they will give you only 2 hours. You have only 2 hours to answer all these questions. So this is main campus exam this year. So they have given you these sentences, okay, and they all contain errors. So the following sentences contain errors. So rewrite to correct the errors. So these are the things my mentor told me to never relent. Okay, it contains error, and we will delve more into that specific error. Another one is that also take the book off the shelf under, and so sorry, I made a mistake here when typing and clean. Okay, take the book off the shelf and clean. And another one is also, my sister is a nurse, and all these questions are here. And I have the second batch, that is main campus batch 3, okay, or the third batch. I have their question also here with me, batch 3. It also, we have all the questions here, so you have to go through and then solve them. So now we are coming to go through them one after the other. The first question says that my mentor told me never to relent, and this sentence contains a specific error, which is what? Misplaced modifiers. Okay, it contains misplaced modifiers. But before then, to be able to understand a misplaced modifier, we need to understand what a modifier is. A modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that provides additional information about another word in a sentence. Modifiers are used to add details, description, or clarification to nouns or verbs. So we have different types of modifiers, which is what um, adjective modifiers. So if I say adjective modifiers, example of them is big, small, beautiful. These things are what adjective modifiers. And we have adverb modifiers, which is also what quickly, slowly, carefully, quietly. These are also what they are all adverb modifiers. And we have the third one, which is what phrase or phrasal modifiers. So phrase modifiers too, they are what they are example out on the table, after the movie, and in the morning. It is what a phrase modifier. Now let's now look at, let's take an example and try to delve more into the modifier, so we can now see how best we can tackle the question one. So example one says that the tall man, so the tall man here, the adjective is what tall, and it modifies the noun man, so by describing what his height. So if you say the tall man, the adjective is the tall here, okay, adjective is the tall, and then it is what it is describing it, or it modifies what the man, the noun, which is what man. So we have what the man, man is what the noun, and then the modifier is a tall, okay. So it is what modifying the man. So that is it. And also if I say she ran quickly, so the this one also has to do with what an adverb, okay. I told you about the adverb modifier. So quickly is what an adverb, so which what modifies what a verb, run. So it is describing how she ran. And the third one was is what she bought what a beautiful dress. So the adjective is beautiful, that modifies what the noun dress, okay, by addressing the appearance. Now we know, we have a little idea about modifiers, okay. He sings nicely, so nicely becomes what a modifier. So we are now coming to look at misplaced modifiers. So misplaced modifiers occurs when descriptive words or phrase are not positioned next to the words, okay. So it usually occurs when descriptive words or phrases are not positioned to the words. They are the words that they are meant to what to modify, leading to confusion or ambiguity in the sentence. So if a modifier is not placed at exact place where it is supposed to be placed, then it is called what misplaced modifier. So with this one, I think now you understand it. So anytime a modifier is not placed at where it is meant to what to be placed, okay, which end up leading to confusion in the sentence, it is called what misplaced modifier. So essentially the modifier is misplaced because it is what not placed near the word, and it is supposed to describe or give more information about. This can result in modifier unintentionally modifying a different word in the sentence, altering the intended meaning. Let's now look at example. Let's take some examples and try to explain them, so we get to the question. If I say, on her way home, Akosia found a ghostman watch. On her way home, Akosia found a ghostman watch. This is what a misplaced modifier. Why? Because it is usually what the modifier is not position at the place that what is supposed to what position. The modifier is not really positioned at the exact place or where it is supposed to position. So misplaced modifiers are usually corrected by moving the modifier to a more appropriate place in the sentence, generally next to the word it modifies. So you have to what the word that it is modifying, that word can be what can be a noun, a pronoun, or whatever. So you have to what draw it, or you have to what correct it by moving the modifier to a more appropriate place in the sentence, generally next to the word that it modifies. So let's look at this. So in the example I gave, I said that on her way home, Akosia found a ghost man's watch. So let's now correct this one. So we say that on her way home, Akosia found a man's gold watch. Do you get it? A man's gold watch. On her way home, Akosia found a man's what? Gold watch. So this is how what we do it. So we have modified it. So in the first one, you have a ghost man, we are using what? A man's good. A man's good, a ghost man. So we've positioned it and we've be able to draw it closer for it to what? To make meaning. A ghost man, a ghost man, good, a gold man, okay, a gold man's rather, a gold man's. So we have what? Be able to what? Do it in such a way that it will be closer, and that is how we've corrected it. So we say that on her way home, Akusia found a man's gold, because the whole thing is what? About what? Watch. It is about the watch. The sentence is talking about the watch here. So the modifier should be closer to what? The watch. Okay, so the man's what? She found what? She found the man's what? A man's gold what? Watch. Gold watch. So the gold watch is what we are talking about. So if you put the man in between the gold, it makes it what? It doesn't make sense. Now, so the modifier gold has been placed next to the word it modifies. That is what? The watch, because it is modifying the watch. So we can now say that the modifier has been corrected. Okay, the sentence above suggests that the good man owns the watch. So do you get it? So if you read the second the correction, you will see that we've been able to modify. Now let's look at the example that they gave to the regular student in the exams. They said that my mentor told me to never relent. My mentor told me to never relent. My mentor told me to never what? Relent. Can you drop the answer based on what we did? Can you drop the answer? If you know, please drop the answer under the comment section and let me see before I even solve it. So this is how what we go about it. So the modifier, okay, the modifier, which is what? To never relent, is misplaced, and it seems what? Modify me instead of what? The intended action. Do you understand it? So we can correct it by saying that my mentor advised me never to what? Relent. My mentor advised me never what? To relent. Or my mentor told me never my mentor told me never to relent, instead of you saying that my mentor told me to never relent. It is what? A misplaced modifier. Let's go to the second example. It says that the second example says that take the book off the shelf and clean it. Take the book off the shelf and clean it. How do we explain this? How do we explain this? So we explained it because it is what? A fragment. It is a fragment. This is a fragment because it lacks direct object for the verb, which is what? Clean. It lacks what? A direct object. Okay, and as it stands, okay, as it stands, the instruction is incomplete and does not specify what should be cleaned, right? So we correct that fragment and we say that, can you please take the book off the shelf and clean it? Can you please take the book off the shelf and clean it? Or could you please take the book off the shelf and clean it? Or could you take the book off the shelf and clean it? Or do you understand it? Because when I tell you that take the book off the shelf and clean it, take the book off the shelf and clean it, it is fragment and clean. So take the book off the shelf and clean, it doesn't make sense. It's incomplete, right? But if I say, could you please take the book off the shelf and clean it? It becomes what? Complete. So we have solved what? A problem. Now the next one is what? My sister, she is a nurse. My sister, she is a nurse. It's redundancy. It's redundancy. When you talk of redundancy, it contains what? Redundant pronoun, and the she repeats the subject, my sister. So do you get it? She represents what? The sister, and then my sister is also what? Another word that represents the same sister. So you can say that my sister, she is a nurse. It is what? Redundancy, and it is what? You must what? Find a way to what? To correct it. So the redundancy is unnecessary and adds what? To a new information in the sentence. So we will say that my sister is a nurse instead of my sister, she is a nurse. So it has been what? Been corrected. Let's look at the option D. It says that because we are the most disciplined unit in the army, because we are the most disciplined unit in the army, this one lacks what? A clause. It lacks a clause. So how do we correct this one? So the sentence lacks the main clause, which is what? Necessary to be complete sentence. So it starts with what? A subordinate conjunction, because, right? So because it's a subordinate conjunction, but does not provide an independent clause to complete the thought. So we can correct it by saying that we are the most disciplined unit in the army because. So I brought what? Ellipsis, means that something continue. But when it begin to say that because we are the most disciplined unit in the army, it is what? Lack of what? Clause. And in the same way, because we are the most disciplined units in the army, in some way I can say it's a fragment, right? Because we are the most disciplined unit in the army. So what happens after that? So I can also relate this sentence to what? A fragment. So you can what? This one has to do with what? Lack of clause. So you what? You provide it and you try and then correct it. And then also, so you say that we are the most disciplined unit in the army because, yes. So, and then another one is also what? The other one. It says that the theater doctor and graduate student are OSEI. The theater doctor and graduate student are OSEI. This is a parallel what? Structure. Okay. It refers to grammatical and rhetorical construction in which corresponding parts of a sentence have a similar form, pattern, or structure. So let's now delve more into it. Example: using the same grammatical form for items in a list. So if you use what? The same grammatical form for items in a list, such as something like she likes to swim, to hike, and run, it is redundant. It is what we call what? Parallel structure, because it what? Uh it it actually what? Correspond, right, to parts of a sentence that have a similar form, pattern, or a structure. Because if you say she likes to what? She likes to swim, to hike, and run, you could there could be a way that you will form it to make what? A nice to make meaning. Okay, so here we can only maintain consistency in the tense by saying he enjoys reading, writing, and painting, right? So this one is it. So now let's look at the question. The question says that the theater doctor has graduated. The theater doctor and graduate students are Osei Kwame. Are Kwame Osei. The theater doctor and graduate student are Kwame Osei. So the sentence lacks what? Parallel structure, because it combines two different rules. So in parallel structure, it's where you combine two different rules, activities, or you combine what a different structure all together. So that is it. So we can say, so the theater is referring to what Kwame Osei, and then the student is also referring to Kwame Osei. So instead of you saying that the theater doctor and graduate student are Kwame Osei, you can rather say that the theater doctor and the graduate student is Kwame Osei, just to what, to actually make it look nice, and to also ensure the use of qualified expression. Let's now let's now move forward. The other example says that, walk to the store, I found the groceries heavy. Walk to the store. Sorry. Is this the let me look at the example. So sorry, the example says that I've if Benson watched the parade of high school bands sitting in the chairs on the what lawn, on their lawn. So let me take it again. It says that the Bensons watch the parade of high school bands sitting in the chair on their lawn. This sentence is what we call dangling modifier. So a dangling modifier is a type of grammatical errors that occur when a word or phrase in a sentence is intended to modify a particular noun or a pronoun, but the noun or the pronoun is either missing or not clearly stated in the sentence. As a result, the modifier appears to be dangling without clear connection to the word it's supposed to modify, leading to confusion or ambiguity in the sentence. For example, walking to the store, the groceries were heavy. Walking to the store, the groceries were heavy. So here you could see that you could see that there was what an intended word, okay, a modifier or a modifier to a particular noun or a pronoun, okay, to which what which at the end of the day is rather what missing. So they were supposed to either be what a pronoun or a noun in the sentence, but rather what missing, and the sentence structure still continues. So here you identify a challenge or an error called dangling modifier, because here in the sentence construction is nice, but there's a missing pronoun or a noun here, and that is what is causing. So in a sentence, the phrase walking to the store is a dangling what modifier, because the it is what unclear it is what? Because it is unclear who or what is walking. The sentence suggests that the groceries themselves are walking to the store, which is what? Illogical. The intended meaning is likely that the person carrying the groceries is walking to the store. So we can correct it by saying that, walking to the store, I found the groceries heavy. Walking to the stores, I found the groceries heavy. Instead of saying that walking to the store, the groceries were heavy. So here, we have what? Be able to replace it with what? A pronoun. With what? Been able to actually incorporate a pronoun just to make the whole thing what? Nice. Let's look at the example they gave to us. Let me give you another example too. When 9 years old, when 9 years old, my daughter enrolled in a medical school. When 9 years old, my daughter and my mother enrolled in a medical school. So when 9 years old is the dangling modifier. When 9 years old, who was that 9 years old? Are you the one or your mother or who else? So when 9 years old is a dangling modifier. So we can correct it by saying that when I was 9 years, so we get it, the person is referring to himself here. So when I was 9 years old, my mother enrolled in a medical school. And so let's look at the example they gave, example F. So the Bensons watched the parade of high school bands sitting in chairs on their lawns. So the sentence is a dangling modifier, sitting in chairs in chairs on their lawn is at what? The dangling modifier. So this modifier seems to describe the Bensons, implying that they were sitting in chairs on their lawns while watching the parade. However, the intended meaning is likely that a high school bands were sitting in their in chairs on Benson's lawn, not Benson's themselves. So we can say that sitting in chairs on their lawn, the Bensons watched the parade of high school bands. Sitting in chairs of their lawns, the Bensons watched watch the parade of what? High school band. Excuse me. So there's also another example. Example G. It says that please take this book to Mrs. Bediako's house, which she lent me. Please take this book to Mrs. Bediako house, which she lent to me. So this is a relative clause issue here. So relative clause, what is a relative clause? When you talk of relative clause, it is a type of dependent clause that provide additional information about a noun or pronoun. So in the main clause of a sentence, so it typically begins with what? A relative pronoun, who, whom, whose, which, or that. So when you talk of this one, they are what? Relative pronoun, or a relative adverb, which is what? Where, when, or why. So when you talk of these ones, they are what? Relative adverb. So we now try to find a solution. This is what the problem. It says that please take this book to Mrs. Bediako house, which she lent me. So the relative clause, which she lent me, so that is what the relative what clause, which she lent me, is incorrectly what? Placed in the sentence. As it stands, it seems to modify Mrs. Bediako's house, implying that the house lent the book, which is illogical. The house lent the book. So he's trying to tell us that the house rather lent the book and not Mrs. Bediako. So the intended meaning is likely that Miss Bediako lent the book rather, and not what? The house that lent the book. So we can say that please take this book, which she lent me, to Mrs. Bediako's house. So we have what? Be able to bring what? To correct that challenge, okay, which is what? A relative clause. And now we have another example. Starring what? Dreamingly off into space. The teacher's loud voice startled me. Staring dreamingly off into space. The teacher's voice startled me. So this is what the modifier. This is what a misplaced modifier again. So the first one, if you really know what is a misplaced modifier is, so the modifier staring dreamingly into the space is misplaced. Okay, staring dreamingly off into the space is what? Misplaced. So the participles phrase, which is what? Staring dreamingly into the space, is a modifier that describes the action of the teacher. However, as it is currently positioned at the beginning of the sentence, it seems to modify the teacher's loud voice, implying that the voice was staring dreamingly. It creates confusion and misleads the reader and misleads the leader about the intended meaning. So here we can say that while I was staring dreamingly off into the space, the teacher's loud voice startled me. While I was staring dreamingly off the space. Whilst I was staring dreamingly into off. So let me take it again, right? So while I was staring dreamingly off into the space, the teacher's loud voice startled me. So that is it. Now let's look at another example. We are left with two more examples. So it says that the team has done a good job on their research, except except for a few minor errors. The team has done a good job on their research, except for a few minor errors. So the pronoun DS, okay, DS does not agree with the intensity with its what antecedent, which is what the team, dear. So dear is what plural. So here the problem we have is what subject verb agreement. Okay, so while is what the team, and then it is what singular. But if you say that the team, it is what plural, right? So it lacks what it lacks this lack agreement between the pronoun and its antecedent, and it creates grammatical inconsistency in the sentence. So we can say that the team has done a good job on its research, except for a few minor errors. Except what? For a few minor errors. So we have done the corrections. The last one say that my data was analyzed using statistical software. My data was analyzed using statistical software. This is also what a subject verb agreement. Okay, so what an error. The data was analyzed. Analyzed should what? It should have been what? Analyzed, right? So the agreement is not going. The subject and the verb is not agreeing. Okay, so the verb analyze is incorrectly in the present tense form, analyze. So instead of the past tense form, analyzed, right? So he's using analyze, which is in present tense, instead of what? Analyze. Because of the word was, you can't use was. If he was using the data is, or the data is, then you can use what? Analyze. The data is analyzed using what? Statistical data. But the moment you use was, so it must what? Agree with what? A past. Okay, so we'll say that so that this result is a lack of agreement between the verb tense and the past tense context as indicated by was. So we'll say that the data was analyzed by using what? A software. So this is all about it. We have another one. We have some questions here. Those of you, okay, that is the synthesis essay. They are synthesis essay questions, but I'll try my best. I'll try my best and see if we can. I can. I'll release my last video on composite summary. Yes, by tomorrow. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. So this and before then, I want to also take this opportunity to explain to you about my business, which is what Touchstrat Digital. So we promote brands, we promote companies and businesses. So if you have a company, a brand, or a product that you are selling, get in touch with us. We do social media marketing, strategic branding or rebranding. We do search engine optimization or search engine strategies. We do data analytics. We do market research and analysis. We do content marketing. We do affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, competitors analysis. We do logos and flyer designs. We do email marketing, account management. If you have social media account, a businessman or whatever, and you want people to manage, we do all those things. We do content management, content marketing. We do email marketing, pay per click. We do also social media strategy and planning, app store optimization, and the web design services. So if you want to get in touch with us, contact our number on 0503909090. So we help what grow your business. You can search, you can connect with us on social media. That is what on all social media platforms at what Touchstrat Digital, or you send us email on at what touchstratdigital@gmail.com, touchstratdigital@gmail.com. Respond to you, let us know the challenge you have, and then we'll get in touch with you. Thank you for joining, and God bless you. Thank you, and make sure you subscribe and share with your friends.